So Andrew Carnegie, he wrote the Gospel of Wealth, where he said that every person, where possible, the first half of your life should be about making money, but the other half should be about giving, especially for those who are billionaires who have accumulated so much money. And I think most billionaires have followed suit. Bill Gates today, when he retired from Microsoft, he has been spending most of his time in Bill's and Melinda Foundation, trying to see what he can do to make his philanthropic initiatives more successful and more impactful. It is the same with many other billionaires today. There's a man called Rockefeller. Rockefeller is one of the richest people who ever lived of all times. And to date, when it's actually his in the world to date, it still contributes billions of dollars every year. And if I give you a story of Rockefeller, Rockefeller was a trader. He used to run the oil industry in America, and he made so much money that he had more money than the government at that particular time. But by the age 52, he could not eat anything apart from milk and bread. His stomach could not accept anything. He was so sick. And the problem was, he was always living with the fear of losing what he had accumulated. Alikuwa anaishi na uoga. He had allowed his life to be owned by his staff. And then, I don't know what happened to him, but he came to a conclusion that he cannot allow himself to be owned by money again. He lived many years. He became one of the greatest philanthropists, but in the right way, not like charity, but making impact. And that was the of his change. He's one of the greatest philanthropists that the world has ever seen. But that happened because he realized that he had been owned to be the case anymore. So we must never allow wealth to own us. So there's a person called Richard Foster, and this is what he says, that just every act of letting go of money or some other treasures does something else. It destroys the demon. Everybody, by the way, and those who are controlled by the flesh, there is you cannot deny that. But the moment you start giving, that demon called greed is actually destroyed by giving. So it's necessary for us to be contributors in the world. And when you talk of contributors, we are talking about, you can give your skills, you can give your time, your resources, you can give your money, but you got to give. The most important gift that you can give, we are going to discuss that at the end, so let me not preempt, but you're going to look at it by the end of this course. What is the best gift that you can give to other people? So before we get to there, we are looking at some tips that can help you to be a contributor. So contributor. So the fourth thing is, don't let people own you. You know, this is quite common. It's actually possible. People can own you in a way that you do not even realize. Especially those people who have helped you a lot. If you have a person who has helped you for so many years, now unakuta every time you want to make a decision, you have to consult them. And when you tell them, sometimes they don't give you very good advice because they're always thinking about themselves. Probably those people own you. Own you. So you must never accept to be owned by people. These have something to do with peer pressure, detrimental to your progress. Every time you try to progress, wanakurudisha nyuma because you don't want to move out of that comfort zone. So you know, one thing about the fact that if you don't own yourself, it's hard for you to give yourself away when someone else owns you. Well, you know, there are some things that require you to give yourself away. For you to really thrive and succeed and become the best that you can be, you must give yourself to something. But for you to be able to do that, then you must not be owned by other people, because when other people are controlling the decisions that you make, wanakwambia hapo unapotea ama unatupa mbao, what you are doing is not going to be helpful and so on, then it means they still own you. I've heard of a pastor who was explaining that when he started his ministry, akiwa mchanga sana, he got some people from the United States. Wakamwambia, why don't you change the name of your church and call it this name, and then we'll be giving you finances. Tutakuwa tunakupea msaada. So what in essence he was being advised to do would have to lose his destiny and his identity. so that he can get help. And this is actually the predicament of many African countries. We are so indebted by the Western countries to an extent that they own us in a way. Unakuta tumeboro madeni sana, ama tuna depend on donation and donor fund relief to an extent that they even have to tell us some decisions that you have to do. There are some countries that cannot oppose gayism and homosexuality, because if they do so, they'll not live by these countries. And it's a pity. It's something that can also happen to us when we allow other people to own us, that because if you don't do certain things, then they are not going to be part of the decision of helping us. Then it means they own us. And that is something that we must not allow for us to be contributors. If you want to contribute in the relationship, every time, in fact, there's one thing that you must do, at a relationship, even in your friendship. You cannot have friends when all they do is help you. The question is, what are you doing to also help? Ikiwa mimi na wewe tuko marafiki, but all the time I find myself just helping you, then it means I own you. Or all I do is come to you wakati niko na shida. Uko na marafiki zako, hakuna kitu huwa una contribute kwa hiyo group. Wewe kazi yako ni kwenda tu kupewa. Then it means that group owns you, or those people owns you. And you cannot be a contributor if you're owned by others. So to contribute, you must never allow other people to own you. So it's a requirement. So I want to caution you, think critically. You must grow to a level where you now own your life. You must not allow yourself to be owned by others. It's detrimental to your progress. So the other thing, which is number 5, I can see there is something that is we are losing here, is that you must think in terms of planting. There's something that has gone wrong. I think I don't know whether to stop sharing this and then share it again, because you must think in terms of planting a seed. That growth is like planting a seed. Contributing is like planting a seed. You must never think success is only harvesting. Success is not just harvesting. Being a contributor is not just harvesting. It's about investing. Like what I'm doing right now here. If it makes a difference in a person's life, kama kuna mtu atabadilisha kitu kwa sababu ya Kenya ninafunza, then I'm planting something. I may not be harvesting anything at all, but I'm planting something that will grow and will make up an impact, which is a contribution to the world. That is how I take it. Sometimes you see that the problem with the planting is that there is a season where it appears that what you planted is kama imepotea. If you look at the picture that we have here, the second picture, the seed that was planted inakaa kwa ground for some time. It depends on the kind of seed that you have planted. Some seeds, I don't know whether you know that about bamboo. There's a tree called bamboo that if you plant a seed, it stays on the ground for 6 years. Miaka 6, unaweza fikiria hiyo seed hata imeoza. But for 6 years, the seed is underground. But the moment it starts growing, it can increase up to 10 feet in a year. It grows so fast. It compensates the year that it was underground. So that is what it is like to contribute. Sometimes you might be seeing like your work hakuna kitu inafanya, hakuna impact inaleta, but I just want to encourage you that whatever you are doing, you're planting a seed, and a time is coming when you see the progress. So I can see maybe the problem was how I was presenting, and the information is now there. So the explanation is right there. So the picture that you see here is a man called George Washington Carver, Washington Carver. This man was born a slave in the early 1900s, actually towards the end of the 19th century there. He was born a slave, but he died a very prominent scientist. He was a black man, and he's quite common. He's very known because of his contribution in agriculture. He was a very good researcher and scientist. And this is what he says, that no individual has any right to come into the world and go out of it without leaving behind him distinct and legitimate reasons for having passed through it. That is through life. Hakuna mtu ambaye ako na ruhusa. Wewe unakuja tu kwa dunia na unatoka hivyo hivyo bila kucontribute anything. In fact, that is a failed life. And in fact, one of the biggest concerns that I have about my own life is that I do not want to come to be in the world and to make no impact at all. If I knew that I'll live for 70 years, 80 years, 100 years and leave no impact, then I would rather die today rather than live so many years of unfruitlessness. I believe there is no point of just waking up in the morning, unakula chakula, unakula breakfast, unakula supper, and you contribute nothing at all in the world. That is a very reckless and useless life as far as I'm concerned. We must be contributors. We must be people who are making a difference, people who are making a change. That must be our commitment. Kuna tofauti that the fact that I'm alive, I'm making a difference. Being alive, there are people who celebrate so many birthdays. Unaona watu wakipost picha ya nyanya yake mwenye ameishi miaka 105. But the question is, that grandfather, that grandmother, what has he done to impact the world? What has he done with his long life to change life? One of my most important mentors, Miles Monroe, used to say that you should not strive to die old. Rather, it is much better if you could die empty. Dying empty means that whatever is contained in you, and actually that is honoring the law of contribution. If you have something in you, that something needs to come out and benefit the people that it should benefit. You should never die with something that you came into the world with that could have changed lives of other people. It is wicked. It is wicked for you to die with potential. It is wicked for you to die with your talent and abilities when it could actually have changed the lives of people. Ama mnasema aje? Because I believe totally with all my heart, if you are talented, you are gifted, and you die with that gift without ever using it, then there's nobody who can be considered more wicked than you. Nyinyi mnaonaje? What do you say? I want to hear your input. What do you say? Nimeongea sana, ninataka kusikia maoni yenu kidogo. Do you think it's proper and right that you're gifted, you're talented, but you never do anything with that talented gift that you have in your life? Yeah, for the people who are here, what do you think? What do you say? Please unmute. Peter Sila, Charles, Clara, mnafikiriaje? I think it's really wicked for you to die with something that you should have contributed to the world. So I can see on the chat box, someone has written, I saw on Twitter also about Keva Washington. So is somebody trying to say something? All right. Let me hope that you're still together. Mnasikiliza kama mmenyamaza. And I want to move on to the next thing. That is number 6. Number 6 on how you can become a better contributor in the world. So focus on self-development, not self-fulfillment. Somebody is trying to say something? Is somebody trying to say something? Okay. So number 6, no. Number 6 is you need to focus on self-development and not self-fulfillment. You know, in fact, in my book, I have written about fulfillment. The fact that you cannot be fulfilled in life if you're not pursuing your purpose. The only way that you can be fulfilled in life is when and if you're pursuing your purpose in life. So, but you must never focus on self-fulfillment, because fulfillment should be a byproduct. It should not be an end in itself. When you're developing yourself, at the end, you'll find fulfillment. But if you just seek fulfillment, it is temporary. In fact, I have written a list of some of the factors that the differences between self-fulfillment and self-development. That when you're seeking fulfillment, you're chasing happiness. And it's true, you might be happy sometimes. But if you are seeking self-development, it is characterized by continuous improvement. Every day, you're working on yourself. You want to become better and better. Self-fulfillment is unstable. That is the second difference. It's quite an unsustainable emotion. You feel fulfilled today, but tomorrow hautasikia the same. But if you are developing yourself, it is based on consistent action. You don't develop yourself based on how you feel. You know the right things to do. Whether you're feeling like doing it or not, you still do it. Consistent action is what characterizes self-development. Then self-fulfillment depends on circumstances. You can be fulfilled because things are going the right way, your way. But self-development is grounded on discipline. Hata kama circumstances are bad, you're still committed to self-improvement or self-development. The other thing, and the reason I'm talking about the reason why you must never seek self-fulfillment, but rather you should seek self-development. And at the end, you get self-fulfillment. If you seek self-development, you also get self-fulfillment. But if you seek self-fulfillment, you may not necessarily develop or grow. So the last difference is it depends on someone's mood. Fulfillment depends on someone's mood. When you feel, that is how you know whether you are fulfilled or not. But self-development is based on habit. The moment you make habit your friend, then you will continue to develop in the perspective of how your mood is like. So that is one way. If you want to be a contributor, don't depend on your mood. Don't depend on how you feel, on circumstances and emotions and seeking happiness. Rather, base it on habit, on discipline, on consistent action, and continuous improvement. So the last thing, we are winding up, by the way. I can see that we are out of time. But one thing is that to keep giving, if you want to continue giving for a whole lifetime, then you must keep growing. Can you imagine? It doesn't matter how much money you have. If Bill Gates is all about giving. Kama yeye ako tu na foundation ya giving pledge, ama giving the Bills and Melinda, but he's not making any money, at the end that money will come, he'll not be able to continue giving. So Microsoft is still making a lot of money. So Bill Gates and Melinda are still able to continue giving because they are getting more even as they give. It is the same thing with life, that if you want to continue giving, if for instance you are a good teacher, for you to continue becoming a good teacher and a better teacher, you must continue learning. You must continue growing your capacity. For you to become a good author, a good teacher, a good business person who remain relevant is a person who is continuously growing in something, becoming better and better. So for you to be a better contributor, you must continue growing in your capacity to give. So that is why I want to end on this particular thing about the law of contribution. The law of contribution, that if you are to live a fulfilling life, you must focus on growth. And as you grow, you become a better person. So I'd like to ask a question. Before I ask the question, this is a man called Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn is one of the greatest also teachers of personal growth. He died in 2009, but he left a mark, having trained more than 5 million people in personal growth and leadership and mastering and living a life worth living. And he had a philosophy which says that the work harder on yourself than you work on your job. For those of us who have employment or business, you must work harder on yourself than you work on your job, because your income is directly related to your philosophy, not the economy. And for things to change, you must change. For things to change, you must change. He says that your income is based on your philosophy, not the economy. Kuna watu ambao saizi wanasema economy ni baya, unga ni bei ghali, na kuna watu ambao hata hawajasikia kama unga imeongezeka, hawajui hata kama sukari imeongezeka, because their life is not based on how the economy is. It's based on their philosophy. There are people who are experiencing so much tremendous success even this very moment as we speak right now. They do not feel the weight of the economy because they have a different philosophy. And that is actually what I was saying, that I have a philosophy also. It is something that I really want to live. And it is based on my faith. According to Philippians 4:19, which says that my God will meet all my needs according to the riches of his glory in Christ Jesus. According to the riches in glory in Christ Jesus. That is my philosophy. So my God will not provide for me based on what I have in the bank. My God will not meet my need based on the economy. My God will not meet my need based on the prevailing circumstances, but according to the riches in glory in Christ Jesus. That is a philosophy that I want to live, that I endeavor to live. That it doesn't matter how bad the economy is, my God will still meet my need. So that is a growth mindset. It's a it's a philosophy. So now I want to ask a question, and I want to get your input before we finalize. What is the greatest gift that you can give people you love? The people who are here, I like your responses. Wacha niulize wa kwanza. Kila mtu anajibu hii. Tafadhali, if you're on, let us start with Charles. Charles, please tell me, unmute and tell me, what is the greatest gift that you can give someone, either your wife or your family or the people you love?
Thank you very much for this session. I think the greatest thing gift that I could give my family or people that I love is time. I consider it to be a very noble resource. Time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your response. Now let's go to Peter Sila. Peter Sila, Frank, what is the greatest gift that you can give to those you love? And the people, maybe your family, your wife. Unmute, please, and tell us. Peter Sila, are you with me? Okay. Let me go to Peter Sila, sijui mbona hajafanya nini. Let's go to Clara. Clara, my friend.
Yes, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
So the greatest
what is the greatest gift?
Okay, the greatest gift that I can give to my family or those people close to me is the gift of a listening ear. That I can be able to listen to their needs and maybe attend to them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So Peter Sila, are you back? Are you able to speak? You can also type it if you're not able to speak.
Yes, I am able to speak.
Okay. Go ahead. Tell us before we wind up.
Yes, the greatest gift that I can be able to give my people is love.
Love.
Yes, as I can show compassion.
Very true. Very true. Thank you so much. Thank you all of you for your contribution. But I want to tell you something, that in all those gifts that you have said, there's one thing that will be common to them, and that is this. If you have the greatest gift you can give to someone is your own personal development, your own personal growth. For you, Clara, to be a good listener and to hear, you must develop yourself, because hearing does not come haphazardly. People who are good listeners are people who are very intentional. For you, Charles, to give your time to your wife or your family and the people you love, that means you must grow to a level where you are not able to understand them, and that time must be it's an investment that you invest in. Yeah. Peter Frank, Peter Sila, for you to be able to love people and to be compassionate, you must grow in love. You must grow in that compassion. So the more you grow, is the more you are able to give that which you want to give to people. So I don't know whether it's a new person who is joining ama ni nani huyu ambaye hajaweza commute, so that you can wind up this one. So I want to tell you, you look at anything that you can give to people, the best gift that you can give to people is becoming better.
Okay,
when you become better, you're able to give more.
Ebu aka 00. Token bana. Nilinunua token juzi. Ebu finya 00 mara mbili.
Let me meet you, Clara. Token nasikia zimeisha, pole. It's okay, but I can see simu yako iko na charge. So I want to say that the greatest gift that you can give to people is actually your personal growth, because even if you give them time na hauonyeshi compassion, hauonyeshi understanding, hauonyeshi many other things, then that time may not be very helpful if you have not grown in your compassion, in your love, in all of those other dimensions. So the more you grow, you become a better person to your family, to the world, and in every way. And that is why today, I believe that what I'm giving you today, an opportunity for us to grow together and to become better and better. That is the greatest gift that I'll ever give you. Hata kama kuna msaada mwingine anaweza kusaidia, my friend Charles, my friend Peter Sila, my friend Clara, hakuna msaada ambao anaweza kusaidia zaidi ya to grow with you and to make you a better person. Because that is the greatest gift that I can give you, and the greatest gift that you can also give to the world. It is your personal growth. Why is that necessary? Because we are supposed to be a light in the world. We are supposed to be a light. But for your light to shine, you must keep on developing yourself. You're supposed to be the salt of the world. And if the salt loses its taste, kama haina chumvi, haina taste, then it's no good, it's no relevant, it's useless. And what is the taste? The taste that you're talking about is our ability to contribute, our capacity to give to others. That is the taste. If you lose our capacity to be helpful to others, our capacity to contribute to the well-being of others, then we are like salt that has no taste. As salt that has no taste is useful to be thrown out. It is not useful at all. So that is the same thing with us. So I'm starting today and going forward, you make a commitment that you're going to be a contributor to the world. You're going to be a contributor. Every time you'll be thinking about contribution. What can I contribute? How can I contribute? And I'm sure this is not something new. The reason why I love these laws because some of us are already contributing. What we can do is improve our ability to contribute by growing, by becoming So I've finished my lesson today, and I want to remind you that next lesson will be the last lesson in this series. It will be the winding up session. We are going to look at everything that you have covered in this series or in this session, and whether there's something that maybe you missed because you are not present. So I invite you, those who are here, please don't miss the next session. We are going to do a total recap of what we've covered and why it was necessary for us to do this. And we are going to, the other week, we are going to start season 2, and it is about living good values. Living good values, living good values, living good values. I don't want to emphasize on that. Season 3 will be financial intelligence and stewardship. I have intentionally made financial the third because I believe that it is easier to make money than to make good values. There are people who have a lot of money, but they do not live good lives. They are struggling with values. They are struggling with character. So it is better that you build values first before you build wealth. And that way you become wealthy for a longer time. So I'm winding up my lesson today. I want to thank you for being here, and I invite you to say something. Kila mtu, before tumalizie, what is your take home, or what are you taking home today? I know we are running out of time, and I thank God we are here. So kindly let us start with anybody who's ready. Just unmute and say something that you're going to take home today.
Hello, I'm ready.
Yes,
Today,
please,
what I'm taking home today, I've learned that the greatest gift that I can give to anybody close to me or those people who surround me is the gift of my personal growth.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Clara. Charles,
Hello.
Pitasila.
First
Yes,
of all,
please.
thank you very much for today's session. And then secondly, apologies because I joined during the second part of it for circumstances beyond me. But my greatest takeaway today is just like Clara said, that the greatest gift that I'm supposed to give to people close to me or people that I love is my personal development. It's more about time. It's more about, it's beyond time. Personal development is it. Thank you so much.
Asante, karibu sana, thank you. Finally, Pitasila. Ama Pitasila disappear. Pitasila, okay. So thank you so much, guys, for being here. By the way, we are coming up with our website on Rock Peter, where you'll be able to get so many resources. So you can check us on that particular website. We have our books and everything else that we are doing. Thank you very much for being here. Let us meet next Thursday. We have another masterclass where we are going to review what we've done so far. If you missed a session, you find like a recap of looking back at what we've covered and how it has been helpful. May God bless you. Thank you so much for being here. Enjoy your family and commit yourself to personal growth, because that way you become a better person and a better contributor to your family, to your relationships, in life and in every way. And may God bless you so much. Thank you and bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.